We just saw the most insane draft lottery unfold where the Dallas Mavericks had a 1.8% chance on moving up to the #1 overall pick 3 months after trading away Luka Doncic on what's being labeled as the worst trade in NBA history, and they just got rewarded with the #1 overall pick to select Cooper Flagg out of Duke. I still can't believe that happened. Nico Harrison trades away Luka Doncic, and now they have a chance to save their future and take Cooper Flagg, who is a true two-way elite prospect coming out of Duke, somebody that is an elite offensive playmaker and elite defensive playmaker. The shot has improved. He can get chase down blocks. He can guard super well on the perimeter or on the interior as a 4, even as a small ball 5. He can get downhill, finish at the rim with contact, and he's somebody that can make an immediate impact right away. And the Dallas Mavericks just were handed a life raft. Their second best player, Kyrie Irving, was going to be out for half of the season in 2026, and this team is getting older with Anthony Davis at the top. They also have Klay Thompson, but now they have so much brighter of a future going forward. And if they get Kyrie Irving back to maybe 80% of what he was before the injury, the Dallas Mavericks could make a run in the playoffs, not just next year, but over the next few years as well, because they also have a deep roster right now in terms of bigs and wings. And with Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington both being free agents in 2026, if they made them available this offseason, and I think they will after getting Cooper Flagg, who could be a wing or a big and replace one of those roles, they can get a very nice return because Daniel Gafford is one of the more underrated big men in the NBA, in my opinion. PJ Washington has improved so much as a defender, and wings that can defend multiple positions come at a premium in the NBA. So they can maybe get a guard for one of those guys, and they can really build for right now around Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, and Cooper Flagg, but also in the future when AD and Kyrie are gone, maybe it's Max Christie and Jaden Hardy and Derek Lively around Cooper Flagg. I still can't believe that the ownership, the front office that traded away a 25-year-old Luka Doncic was just handed one of the best prospects this century, but here we are. And Cooper Flagg is also going to the Western Conference as well. The East is just getting thinner and thinner by the day, and that could also be resulting in what happened at the #2 overall pick, the San Antonio Spurs leapfrogging into the top 4, and for the 3rd straight year, they are going to have a top 4 pick in this draft. They were blessed with the lottery odds in 2023 when they got the #1 overall pick to take Wemby. Last year, they took Stephon Castle #4 overall. They have a plethora of draft picks right now at their disposal, and also some young assets as well. This team already has De'Aaron Fox, who they acquired at the 2025 trade deadline, as well as Stephon Castle, who just won Rookie of the Year in their backcourt, and now they're getting somebody who would probably be a #1 overall pick in most drafts, Dylan Harper with the 2nd overall pick, a player they don't even need going forward. We were going to hold them to a high regard with their future, with or without Dylan Harper on their team, and now they can maybe use this 2nd overall pick to go after Giannis Antetokounmpo this offseason. And we also know that the Houston Rockets are going to be after Giannis as well, so we may just see an arms race of Texas teams trying to get Giannis Antetokounmpo, because honestly, I can't count out Nico Harrison. Nobody thought they were going to do what they did at the 2025 trade deadline. Maybe they would trade the #1 overall pick for Giannis Antetokounmpo and have a Giannis and Anthony Davis frontcourt going forward. I mean, if they really said that defense wins championships, that would be the best defensive frontcourt in the NBA. And if San Antonio does not want to go after Giannis Antetokounmpo, they can easily get Kevin Durant without giving up the #2 overall pick either. They can really add Dylan Harper and Kevin Durant this offseason. You can have Fox and Castle in your backcourt. You could probably still get Kevin Durant without trading Devin Vassell at the 3. You would have Kevin Durant at the 4, Wemby at the 5, and oh yeah, just this elite combo guard at 6'5" that can score it all 3 ways coming off the bench at Dylan Harper that has such a bright future in this league. And it's not a hot take to say that Dylan Harper is a much better prospect going forward than what Stephon Castle was for them last year. And I just still can't believe that the #1 overall pick and the #2 overall pick are not just going to the Western Conference, but are also going to the same division in the same state of Texas. The Philadelphia 76ers and their fans had a roller coaster of emotions on draft lottery night as well. We thought they were losing their pick, and then they actually jumped into the top 4, and they land the 3rd overall pick. I think they are a fascinating team to figure out what they're going to do with this selection. Could they take somebody like Ace Bailey or VJ Edgecombe at #3 and build another young asset around Joel Embiid, Paul George, Jared McCain, and Tyrese Maxey? Could they trade down as well with a team like Charlotte, Utah, Washington, New Orleans, or Brooklyn that wants to go up and get somebody like Ace Bailey for their future? And Philadelphia could build out their depth a little bit more and take a more complementary ready prospect like a Colin Murray Boyles or a Con Knipple later in the draft? Or do they maybe try to trade the 3rd overall pick with Tyrese Maxey and go after Giannis Antetokounmpo, or do they package 3 and Paul George to go after Kevin Durant? I think Daryl Morey has a ton of different options at his disposal this offseason, and for a 76ers team that we thought was going to be competing in the Eastern Conference with Paul George and Jared McCain this year, had the worst season imaginable, and it can't be much worse in 2026. And even if Joel Embiid isn't going to be fully healthy or Paul George, this could still be a competitive team, not just in 2026. They were very lucky from the lottery gods this year, because there was a scenario where they weren't going to have a first-round pick in general, just like the Raptors and what they went through in the 2024 draft lottery. And man, it was a very unlucky lottery for the teams that were very bad in 2025, that were hoping they were going to get a franchise-changing prospect in Cooper Flagg. The Charlotte Hornets only dropped 1 spot to number 4, and they're going to end up with either an Edgecombe, a Trey Johnson, or an Ace Bailey, but Utah really got the worst of it. They ended up dropping from 1 to 5, and no team that has had the worst record in the NBA with the new lottery odds that were implemented in the 2019 draft lottery have ever stayed at the number 1 overall pick. Utah thought maybe they were going to get a Cooper Flagg or a Dylan Harper, and they just had the worst season in the NBA to end up with maybe a B-tier prospect in this draft. Same goes with Washington, as they fell to number 6, and you have to feel a little bit gutted. Think about what a Cooper Flagg and Alex Sarr frontcourt could have been. The New Orleans Pelicans were just decimated by injuries this year. You think you can have Cooper Flagg and Zion Williamson going forward. They fall to the 7th overall pick. The Nets, who traded away Mikal Bridges last offseason, they were supposed to fully tank this year, and they just end up with the 8th overall pick in this lottery. And will Brooklyn try to be aggressive this offseason as well? They may have the draft capital to go after Giannis Antetokounmpo, but the team is not going to be in a great situation if they went after Giannis right now. Could they pivot and try to offer a bunch of picks for somebody like a Devin Booker if he's made available, or a Jaylen Brown this offseason? But Brooklyn may just have to stay the path and then hope that their lottery luck is a little bit better in 2026, and they lose a couple more games next year as well. Toronto also dropped as well to pick number 9. They dropped 2 spots. Are they going to just take maybe a backup center there at number 9? But they're also a team that could take a leap in the 2026 season as well if they could stay healthy, because they were banged up in the 2025 season. Houston, they were such a big wild card in the draft lottery, because if they moved up into the top 4 like Dallas or San Antonio, they would have had another asset to go after Giannis Antetokounmpo. And imagine Cooper Flagg in Houston with Amen Thompson and Alperen Sengun going forward, and all the assets they have on their roster, including draft picks from the Brooklyn Nets and the Phoenix Suns going forward. But they did not get lucky at all, and they ended up dropping to the 10th overall pick. But maybe they just saw what happened with San Antonio and Dallas, and they're going to be a little bit more aggressive this offseason, and we could see them try to go after Giannis Antetokounmpo still. They can offer up Alperen Sengun or Jalen Green and a ton of assets surrounding him, or they can also pivot to Kevin Durant, who's not going to cost them that much, but they can give Phoenix their picks back, which could be a very enticing return for Phoenix going forward. Because I think Phoenix also just saw what happened in the lottery, and they could call up Philadelphia for pick 3 or San Antonio for pick 2 and see if they can maybe get Kevin Durant for a top 3 pick moving forward. Portland ended up dropping to number 11, but we know that they are still on the right path going forward in their post-Damian Lillard rebuild. Gotta feel a little bit for Bulls fans, because they lost the lottery coin flip to get the 11th overall pick during the lottery. The Mavericks won that and then ended up going to number 1. So if Josh Giddey did not hit that half-court shot late in the year to win that game against the Lakers, they would have had the sole position at the 11th overall pick going into the lottery, and they could have ended up with the number 1 overall pick as well. The Hawks ended up with the 13th overall pick, and the San Antonio Spurs ended up with the 14th overall pick. Just another asset that they can have in a big trade going forward. And I think the draft lottery set up so much of the 2025 offseason, because we could see Dallas becoming more aggressive, figuring out that they extended their window with Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving by bringing in Cooper Flagg. I think San Antonio is going to be very aggressive this offseason to get another big name to make the playoffs right now and be competitive around Victor Wembanyama on his rookie contract before they have to pay him the rookie max next offseason. And we're seeing teams throughout the NBA playoffs that just watched the lottery as well. We know that the Boston Celtics, who are down 3-1 to the New York Knicks, and what could be a surprising round 2 exit for them, makes some moves this offseason. They just got new ownership. They had the largest tax bill in the NBA upcoming, and they are a second apron team. The Cleveland Cavaliers, also a disappointing round 2 performance against the Indiana Pacers, are also going to be a second apron team next year as well. Could they try to be a sneaky Giannis team? Could they try to move Jared Allen to save some money against the apron? And I think plenty of young teams in the East are going to be aggressive going forward, realizing how wide open it could be. Could Detroit make a massive move this offseason? What about Orlando? Atlanta with a new front office? We know Toronto may be aggressive with Masai Ujiri moving forward, and Philadelphia is going to be right back into the swing of things. We know Daryl Morey likes to make big splashes, and I think if they're trying to maximize this Joel Embiid window, they could be doing that this offseason. So yeah, there's a realistic scenario where Cooper Flagg and Giannis Giannis Antetokounmpo and Kevin Durant are all playing in the Western Conference next year, and we are just going to see a bigger disparity in talent between the East and the West in 2026, because the Mavericks are going to be competitive and they're walking to a conference where the Houston Rockets have such a bright future. The Oklahoma City Thunder just won 68 games and had the best net rating in the NBA. They're not going anywhere. Anthony Edwards is in the West. Nikola Jokic is in the West. Luka Doncic is in the West, as well as Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs, who are going to be competitive a lot more in 2026 if they add Dylan Harper with the second overall pick, or if they trade him for a bigger name moving forward. So yeah, that is going to be for me. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. I think the draft lottery changed so much what can happen this offseason. Let me know what you guys think about it down below. Drop a thumbs up if you guys did enjoy. Subscribe if you're not already. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.